Hey, this ThinkerThunker. Welcome to part 2 of my British Columbia Howl series. In part 1, after I demonstrated to everybody that the British Columbia Howl, which we see here on the bottom, it didn't match any known species. It doesn't have a matching sonic fingerprint. After that, I teased the fact that there was something else weird about the BC Howl. And that's the fact that up here on top was a dog howl, and I pointed out how most howls in nature, when you look at their wave files, they're relatively smooth. But this British Columbia howl had all these things I called transients, all these peaks and valleys. That shouldn't be there. All of these represent, different types of sounds instead of just a howl. And for anybody who might think that all those extra peaks and valleys might be like ambient noise, like a stream in the background or road noise or a jet flying overhead or anything, here are the two BC howls. Have a listen to both. Kind of sounds like a question and answer. Listen again. But here is about a second before that howl, and have a listen to that. That is the ambient noise. So it's just your garden variety wind through the trees noise. Nothing there to suggest that there should be extra peaks and valleys and signs of a lot of extra noise. Now here is that BC howl again, and have a listen. I've slowed it down some. See, and by the way, you really should, if you have them, listen to this on earphones. But listen to see if you can't start hearing some extra word-like sounds. Here we go. There's definitely something extra going on. Now listen, if I slow it down even further, it starts to sound kind of like a Gregorian chant. And if I slow it down even further, it starts sounding kind of like a whale song. Which is an interesting thought, because we know whales are incredibly intelligent, and they're mammals. And they do make long vocalizations like that travel great distances. Do you think they're just making that noise to hear their head rattle? Or could there be information in there? Could there be vowels and consonants and words? Of course, it's not going to mean anything to us because we don't speak whale or forest giant, but it's at least possible that all of these extra peaks and valleys contain something that's meaningful to somebody. Okay, now here is a new wave file. I haven't shown you this yet. We can see it's got peaks and valleys, so it does not look like a howl. Have a listen. Could you make that out? I'll play it up a little higher in pitch. And now higher. You probably got that one. That's me yelling, "All y'all are tall." Now, it's not exactly a Pulitzer Prize winning statement. There's not much information there. But I'm about to show you how, in just one little tiny segment of the British Columbia howl, there's at least the same amount of complexity as me yelling, "All y'all are tall." And keep in mind, if you didn't speak English, hearing me go, "All y'all are tall," is probably going to sound like gibberish or like nothing, just sounds. Okay, so now we're back to the British Columbia howl again, howl number 2, and I've chopped it up into slices on some of these major transients, these major peaks and valleys, and I'm going to play them this time and see if you can hear different sounds, different vowels or consonants or words. There's slice 1. Now I'm going to add slice 2. Definitely a difference between 1 and 2. Now I'm going to add 3. Difference again. Now I'm going to add the 4th slice. Now I'm going to add the 5th. All of y'all are tall. There's as much variation. There could be as many different words in these first 5 slices as me yelling, all of y'all are tall. Now, if I just kept playing other slices, listen to that slice there. It's like a honk. Versus the sound in front of it. Followed by Now, I keep going, keep playing all these different sounds, and they do each sound different. So tell me why there's some howl that most people think is a dog or wolf or coyote or something mundane. Why are there howls being recorded all over North America that are made up of all of these many different little nuanced specific sounds that don't really repeat? That makes zero sense unless you call it language. And the mind-blowing aspect of this is something I mentioned in part 1, is that it all happens, or it's all being yelled or screamed or sung or howled so fast that our human ears can't detect all of these slices, all of these little vowels and syllables and words, if that's what they are. I mean, that's the stuff that movies are made from, you know, like the movie Contact. A message was received from outer space, and then it had encrypted, you know, data within data. Am I saying that that's what this is? That it's language disguised as a howl? Well, it's at least possible, and we're looking at and hearing the evidence right here. Okay, now I keep playing with some of these slices. Now, they sound like nothing to our ear. But if somebody that speaks Swahili heard me yell, all of y'all are tall, it's going to sound like gibberish to them. All of y'all are tall. And don't forget, there are live languages being spoken on the planet right now that are comprised of like vowels and consonants, along with hisses and clicks and clucks and whistles and, you know, you name it, any sound that we can make. There's also sign languages, or people flashing lights in sequences, or waving flags. Anything you want to do can, you know, if 2 parties agree that it's a language, it's a language. So this could most definitely be a language too. And just so you can see for yourself, here is a coyote howl. And yeah, it might look like there's a few transients, but you know, actually it's fairly smooth. But here is the ultimate test. Let me chop it up. Here are the chops. Each slice sounds virtually identical. Okay, I'm going to wrap this up with something that pretty much backs up everything that I was just saying. And this was recorded by a man by the name of Ron Moorhead. He called these the Sierra sounds. Some people refer to it as Bigfoot samurai chatter. But when it is slowed down, and chopped up, we see the same thing. We see vowels and consonants being said at a blistering speed that my ear can't really hear until it's slowed down. Have a listen. That sounds more like a sound effect, a thud, than it does. This next one. Gonum. Sounds like gonum cough. I mean, that's just fascinating. I could spend an entire other lifetime just going through all of the Sierra sound recordings and all of these howls and looking for similarities and trying to piece it together with the context of what was happening. But bottom line, that there's just no doubt that we're hearing a language from a species, a two-legged hominid species that isn't supposed to exist. And it's a language that is spoken, sung, howled, whatever, twice as fast as the human ear can detect. That, to me, a species that can speak and understand twice as fast or faster than we do, that to me implies extreme intelligence on their part. All right, everybody. That is all I've got. I enjoyed bringing you this series so much. Let me know what you think about this. I'd like some feedback on this. So thank you all so very much for your support. I appreciate you so very much. I think we're making some progress. I think we're proving some things. I mean, the spectral analysis proving that there's something large out there making howls that don't match anything else, and that those howls, when slowed down, contain what possibly could be vowels and consonants and words. I think that's astonishing evidence, and my proportional DNA, where we can now measure anything, which is something I'm going to do. I'm going to go back and measure anything we've ever seen, any videos or pictures, so that we can know finally for sure what we're seeing. So again, I hope that you're proud of your contributions to these finds, and hopefully there'll be more. You know, I'll be doing this hopefully for the rest of my life. As long as I have your support, I'm going to keep searching, because your support allows me the freedom to sort of play and experiment and find these things. But I think I'm finding important things. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. Take care.